Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again. And as you guys know, yesterday I did my best phones of Xiaomi so far of 2020. Well, today I want to do something completely the opposite. And instead of looking in the past, look forward to my top 5 anticipated phones of the remainder of 2020. And I have here stand-ins for each of those upcoming phones that I'm super excited about. So let's not waste any time and get started. So the first phone I'm really excited about that is coming out in the second half of 2020 has got to be the Xiaomi Mi A4. Now, I have as a stand-in here the Redmi 10X Pro, because whether you pick the Redmi 10X Pro or the Mi 10 Lite 5G, I do believe that this form factor is going to be the one, but I do hope that if Xiaomi does release a Mi A4 this year, that it does take this exact form factor. Now, yes, we have slightly larger bezels and a notch on this Redmi 10X Pro, but in terms of performance with a Dimensity 820, 4520 mAh battery capacity, it would be amazing to see stock Android running on a phone with this hardware. Now, something tells me Xiaomi might include an even lower level chip than this Dimensity 820. It could be a 600 series chip, but I really do hope if they do release a Mi A4 that it uses this same form factor to the Mi 10 Lite 5G and this Redmi 10X Pro. And it's time for the Mi A series to get some love from Xiaomi. So Xiaomi, just give me the same specs of this Redmi 10X and 10X 5G series in the Mi A4 and I will be a happy camper. But now we go to the next phone that I'm super excited about, and that is what I consider still Realme's best phone on offer, the Realme X2 Pro, and its future successor, the Realme X3 Pro. Now, I know a lot of you Realme fans out there are saying, but Frankie Tech, what about the X3 Super Zoom? Or what about the X50 Pro? Those are better phones already. In my opinion, guys, they are not. And no other Realme phone has really hit that awesome price to performance value of this phone. And I'm still waiting here in June of 2020 for them to release a true successor to this Realme X2 Pro. Now, what is one spec that phone is gonna have to have? It's gotta be that 90 Hz AMOLED display. I think they can pull it off without issue. But what else do they need to pull off here? We need to have a good design similar to this. It doesn't need to be groundbreaking, but this Realme X2 Pro still had a metallic edge and this gorgeous kind of white or blue color options as well. They don't even need to change the bezel size. I don't even mind. These are still very small bezels, similar to the OnePlus 7T, and this Realme X2 Pro looks very modern even to this day. But ideal specs for a Realme X3 Pro, Snapdragon 865, 4500 mAh battery with that same 50-watt Super VOOC charging, and you really just need to follow a similar path that the Redmi K30 Pro series did and just upgrade this X2 Pro with a slightly larger battery and better internals, and you will have a winning phone on your hands here. The Realme X3 Pro, definitely the Realme phone that I'm most looking forward to in 2020. And now we go to another phone from the BBK family, OnePlus 8 Pro right here, standing in for I know the phone that you guys are most anticipating, at least in India, and that's the OnePlus Z. Now, this OnePlus Z, or this new Nord phone series, represents what I think OnePlus is trying to do to get back to their roots. As the flagship killer, they have kind of moved away from that in recent releases. This OnePlus 8 Pro is a true flagship, 120 Hz display, and I don't expect the OnePlus Z to reach the heights of this phone. But at the same time, the prospect of a $300 mid-range OnePlus phone is very appealing. And if they can put in a Snapdragon 765, a good solid 4,300 or 4,500 mAh battery, include a number of the cameras that you see on the OnePlus 8 series, and if they can do at least 90 Hz AMOLED on that phone, it is going to sell like hotcakes. Now, I personally am more excited about the OnePlus 8T and the 8T Pro of the second half of this year to see what can they do to improve this phone, which I think is already one of the best phones of the year. But for the rest of you, especially for my fans in India, I know that the OnePlus Z is the phone that you are most looking forward to. And with an imminent release in July, we don't have to wait much longer. And now we go to the next phone that I'm looking forward to, most anticipated phone of the second half of this year, and it has got to be the updated version of this Mi 10 Pro. Now you may say, but Frankie Tech, this Mi 10 Pro just came out fairly recently, and that is the way of the phone world, guys. Just when this phone has been out for a couple of months now, I'm sure Xiaomi's working on its successor, or at least an updated version of this Mi 10 Pro. And what is the main thing that we're going to see on an updated version of a Mi 10 Pro Plus Plus, perhaps? I think we're going to see, for the first time on a Xiaomi phone, 120 Hz refresh rate. Now, I've had nothing against the panel on this Mi 10 Pro, and 90 Hz is really nice. You really do get used to it, but there's one thing that's even nicer, and that's 120 Hz. I never imagined, after using the OnePlus 8 Pro for a bit of time, that I would notice the difference between 120 and 90 Hz. But I do. And I think for Xiaomi to really get in the game here and start competing with all the phones that are going to be released at the end of this year with 120 Hz, they need to update their flagship phone. And so you can imagine a Mi 10 Pro Plus with this same gorgeous display, 6.67 inch, 4500 mAh battery, 50 watt fast charge, the best dual speakers on any phone, but add 120 Hz and maybe do something really surprising for the camera, perhaps a periscope zoom, and you have a Mi 10 Pro Plus, a souped up 120 Hz version of Xiaomi's finest. I, for one, can't wait to see something like that. But here we go, the last phone that I'm anticipating the most for 2020 has got to be the iPhone 12. And I have here as a stand-in my iPhone 11 Pro Max. And guys, without a doubt, this has been the best iPhone that I have ever used. The battery life on this thing has been tremendous. The Apple A13 processor has been rock solid. I've never had any slowdowns on this phone. But when you look at the design of the iPhone, it actually is starting to look a little more antiquated. And these bezels, while uniform, they are actually quite a bit larger than the ones you see on some other phones now. And the other area where the iPhone 11 Pro Max has fallen behind now is in refresh rate. All iPhones as of right now are 60 Hz, and they're the best 60 Hz displays you can get on any phone, but they still pale in comparison to the smoothness we are now seeing from other vendors like OnePlus and even from Xiaomi with the 90 Hz display. And that's why I'm so excited about this upcoming iPhone 12, which for the first time is going to go back to that squared off design that we saw from the iPhone 5, 5S, and SE. It's been a number of years that we've been using this kind of curved edge, and it's time for a refresh. It's also time to reduce the bezels on this iPhone, but most importantly, it's time to bring ProMotion, that gorgeous 120 Hz refresh rate from the iPads, to the iPhone. And I think when Apple does 120 Hz AMOLED on the iPhone 12, it's going to be tremendous. Add to that the new software layer of iOS 14 on top of it, and you have one of the most exciting releases from Apple in years. And as much as I've loved this iPhone 11 Pro Max, there's no doubt in my mind that if they get this right on the iPhone 12 and release an incredible device that just checks in all the boxes, higher refresh rate, better display, better design, smaller bezels, and just better overall cameras and experience, then I think we're going to have a great release here on our hands in the iPhone 12. And so that's it, guys, my selection of the most anticipated phones for Frankie Tech in the second half of 2020. And I do hope I get a chance to review most, if not all, of those upcoming releases. But hit me up in the comments. What are your most anticipated phones for the second half of 2020? Are you excited about any of the releases I mentioned, or are there other releases you just can't wait for? And there are so many other phones that did not make this list that I just got to mention here. Asus ROG Phone 3. We're looking at that Galaxy Fold 2, which is going to be amazing, and any other upcoming Xiaomi phones that maybe we haven't even thought about, because you know they're going to be releasing some incredible phones in the second half of this year. But hit me up in the comments. I would love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for future updates. So here we go, guys. Second half of 2020 begins in the next few days, and I hope you'll join me here on Frankie Tech, where I will be covering it all. So that's it. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one.